Hey, everybody, we are live on the Cyber Thunder Broadcast Network, bringing you the Cyber Thunder Pro Cup Series. You can see it on your screen tonight. We are at Richmond. It's a long race, 165 laps. Again, don't look at that playoff schedule down there in the corner. I can't get it to change. We've got two races left. Richmond, and then we're going to Hotlanta. And for those of you that know, we're going to Old Hotlanta. That's Atlanta Motor Speedway before they turn it into a super speedway. It's bumpy, it's slidey. But tonight, we got the slick Richmond. It's a night race. We've got 23 cars out here. Should be a good one. I'm telling you, these guys here, let me get out of that screen. These guys are in a playoff battle. Well, that's not the right one. I'm going to fix that. How about this one? There it is. So you can see it. The top four will advance to next week. Next week, bonus points don't count. Next week, it's just finish in front of your competitors. So that's what these guys are fighting for tonight, is to get into that top four. You can see the four currently out. They are in red. But I tell you what, it's not too far. It's not a big difference. Jerry is only 7 points behind Kyle. 7 points at a short track. Like, that could be made up super easy. Coleridge 1 point behind Jerry. Justin's 1 point behind Coleridge. Gary's only 3 points behind Justin. Like, anybody can end up in that spot. I mean, really, they're only 11 points total. Or Jerry's only 11 points behind Dan. So it's pretty tight here. We could end up, this could be all mixed up. We could have the bottom four end up in the top four and move on to next week. So we're going to have to wait to see what's happening at the end of the race tonight. Let's look in. Who are we going to look in on? Looking at the guy at the top of the chart. Oh, I should probably get that out of your way. Mr. Leroy there, sitting at the top of the chart, showing these guys maybe he should have been in the playoffs. Oh, bang. And that's what you don't want to happen. I see a lot of people getting loose out here tonight. Usually out of turn 4. Fresh tires. So we could see some action. It's a lot of cars, 23 cars on a short track. Like I said, it's a cutoff race for the playoffs. Everything gets amped up. I don't know if I have everything opened up here, so give me a second. Everybody's cars may blink out for a second, but I want to make sure we've got the proper paint jobs on here. See Lilith out here, second in points, has flopped that spot with Cody quite a bit this season. See what she can do tonight. Kyle Nadeau trying to hang on to his spot. He's currently 4th in points. Needs a good run tonight to hang on to that spot to advance to that championship race. Garrett has come out here, got his teammate right behind him, Lilith. Gary Bowman. Gary's got a lot of work to do. He's the 8th driver in the playoffs currently. Gary's got some work to do, but it's not unfathomable at all. Like, Gary can definitely make it up there, get into this playoff chase. Dan, his car's not really white. That's what I said. The cars may blink out for a minute, but Dan's going to try to get up here. There he goes. Hang on to his spot. He's currently 3rd in points. It's nice to see Andy Cork back out here. We haven't seen Andy in a few weeks. Looks like he went to the Circle K. Got him a new car. Chris Letts. Looking on Eric Anderson out here. We've got a lot of cars. A lot of good drivers. That guy, like I said, currently top of the charts. We're going to go to qualifying here soon. Oh, I keep seeing wrecks. That'll be fun tonight, watching the wrecks. Like practice is coming to an end. About 5 seconds left. These cars will disappear. We'll go to qualifying. Man, I'm excited. 165 laps. This is going to be nuts. It's a long way. From what I hear, they can make it on one stop. So you got to take care of your tires. You got to take care of your car. Who's the first one rolling off here? Oh, the guy we had already on screen, Kyle Nadeau, is the first car off. So we'll follow Kyle around for his qualifying lap. You got to be careful. If you touch that wall, that discounts that lap. It discounts it. It does not count that lap. Oh, that doesn't work, Kyle. Bang into the wall. He should reset, I think. He's just going to keep it going. Let's see. Steven Music out here. Getting him some paper, delivering paper. Christian Delgado going. John Ross in that skull car. That looks pretty good. Eric Anderson jumping to the top of the board. They're just jumping to the top of the board all over the place. Luna Steak Sauce, Justin Horton jumping to the top of the board. John Ross out here in second. We'll see. I think the second lap's the fast lap. Get some heat in those tires. Looks like Eric is done. Cody Richardson jumping up top. That's not what they want to see. You don't want to see this guy up there. We know what he'll do. He'll just run away. Looking back in. Here comes Kyle. Probably going to get his green lap in this time. Horton backed it into the wall. Oh, I got to find somebody on track. Ed's still out here. Ed turning in his second lap. Kyle got him a good one in. He went up to fifth. Blah. Dave Gainforth jumping up there. He jumped up to seventh. Dan Keene, Gary Bowman jumping up into second. Nobody can knock off Cody, though. You can see it. I mean, he's quite a bit faster than these drivers so far. I have yet to see Lilith on track. Got plenty of time. 2 minutes, 47 seconds. Corey Sherman. Andrew Caldwell. He's pretty good at these short tracks. Currently, Cody Richardson still sitting at the top of the chart. Dave Sanders is on track. Corey Sherman jumped up to third. See if Dave can do anything. Oh, I see the one. The competitor. She's out here on track. Can Lilith steal that top spot? She doesn't want to let Cody get too far away. Even though tonight is all about just making it into the next round. You just want a clean, good finish. Top 10, Lilith should be safe. You never know with a short track, man. Anything could happen. Lilith just 20th place on that first lap. See if she's got any speed for her second. Coming across the line, where will she jump up to? Up to third. That's a good starting spot. Coleridge trying to fight his way into the playoffs. Fourth on his first lap. Riding around that Bully Dog Coffee Company car. Out to the wall. Put Coleridge in second. That's the closest we've seen to Cody. I mean, that's 200ths off Cody's time. I think that is... We've got one car that hasn't come out to take a lap yet. Not sure that he's gonna. Not sure that he's gonna have time. That's Brian Dorsey. That will probably do it. 30 seconds left in qualifying. 23 cars, 165 laps. They're going fast. They're turning left. This is going to be fun. I'm excited. This is going to be fun to watch. I'd pull up the grid, but it won't let me until qualifying's all the way over. 2, 1. There we go. So we'll get it up there for you. You can see it front row. Cody Richardson, Coleridge, Finmore. Gary Bowman starting in third. Lilith Peters in fourth. Corey Sherman, good qualifying run there in fifth. Dan Keene trying to make sure he makes it to the next round of the playoffs. He's in sixth. Justin Horton in seventh. John Ross, eighth. Kyle Nadeau trying to make sure he's in the next round of the playoffs. He's in ninth. Andrew Caldwell, 10th. Dave Gainforth, 11th. Garrett Johnson is in 12th. 13th, Chris Letts. Jerry Isaacs. Got some work to do. Jerry's got to hang on or get up there. He needs to make up one spot on the playoffs. Jerry starting in 14th. Dave Sanders in 15th. Ed Jurgen, 16th. Leroy in 17th. We know Leroy's got speed. We saw it in practice. 18th, Eric Anderson. Andy Cork in 19th. Steven Music, 20th. Mr. Delgado. Christian Delgado in 21st. Jeremy Flanagan, 22nd. Brian Dorsey is going to round out the field. That's a pretty cool view. It's like you're just standing on the wall. Seeing these guys get ready. We see Garrett jump in there. I think he was the last one we were waiting on. These guys should start rolling away here in a second. Cody is going to lead them down. Now the first initial start, that is on iRacing. After that, the leader will control these restarts if we have restarts. Don't want to put that juju out there. This is the guy to watch back here. I guess you can't see which one I'm looking at. That guy, that 51. I think Jerry's going to work his way to the front. Jerry is very consistent, nice and steady, has plenty of speed. I expect to see Jerry Isaacs up here challenging for top 10, if not top 5, before this thing's over. One more lap. They've got them all lined up. We will get this thing underway. Lights are out on the pace car. I know timing and scoring says it's lap 2. It's not lap 2. It's lap 2 of the pace laps. "22-second laps." These things are going to go by fast. Back it up here and see all those cars. See the haulers in the middle, the crowd on their feet. Well, that's a terrible camera. Sorry. We can see it up there up top. Coleridge is fighting Cody for that top spot. He wants to get that spot on the first lap so he can get away. They are going to battle. Tires are really loose. It's slick on these new tires, so these guys got to be careful. I have faith in both of them, but they don't want to take each other out and ruin both their chances at the playoffs. Still side by side. Coleridge will lead that lap. Bonus points do count tonight. Coleridge needs every one he can get to try to get into the playoffs, currently set in 6th position. Oh, Cody got a little loose there. That's going to cost him at least one spot, if not 2. Lilith to his outside. Coleridge completely in control up front. Caution on the speedway. What happened here? 6 laps in. Oh, I lost my mouse. There we go. See if we can go see. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to go. We're going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. Look in at this guy, Kyle Nadeau, trying to get in the playoffs. I see him way back from where he was, so let's... Yeah, he's got damage. Nothing came up on my timing and scoring. Nothing told me that there was an accident, so we're just going to have to rewind this. Oh, that's a bumper. All right, so we can see Jerry right behind him. Looks like Kyle just loses it. Oh, into the inside wall. I don't know how his front bumper got back on the car. That was magic. We saw it on the racetrack. These guys in the pits. Kyle is in the pits. The rest of the field is out. Kyle's trying to get damage repair. Looks like Dave Sanders came down. Jeez, old Pete, these cameras are terrible. I don't see any damage on Ed. Dave looks fine. Oh, jeez. That's going to hurt this guy, though. Front row Kyle Nadeau. Setting in the pits. Going a lap down. Trying to get that damage repaired. You can see the field there to the right side of your screen going by Kyle. That's going to shake up the playoffs. That's why we put a short track here. You got to think Kyle was in 4th place in the playoff picture. He was currently moving on to the next round. But now, Jerry's right there, 7 points behind him, and as of right now, I think Jerry would probably be in, Kyle would be out, so this is something to watch all night. Back up front, Coleridge is going to have the inside, it looks like. Cody is going to take his outside. Yes. Lights are out on the pace car. Kyle is still in the pits. So put him 2 laps down. Not what he wanted to see, but if you're going to have something happen, have it happen early so you can get the car fixed, get back out there. If it happens late, you don't have an opportunity to make any of that up. Like, it's just, there's not enough time. That's a pretty cool scene, though. All these cars on a short track. Man, that's, like I was talking about, it just gets loose coming out of these corners. The 97 still sitting in the pits, and we're about to go green. See Barney with the flag in his hand. Coleridge controls it. We're off. Coleridge got a really good start there. Caught Cody sleeping a little. Give you a better view of what's going on behind there. It's a hornet's nest. This battle looks like Cody's going to get by Lilith, get into 2nd place. See if he can't chase down that 23. And I can see it. You'll be able to see it here in a second. Let's get up here and look at Coleridge. That 97 is going to go another lap down. Kyle's out of the pits, but here comes the field. He's just trying to keep it up high and out of everybody's way. Look back in here. We saw Jerry right behind Kyle when he spun. Jerry's up 4 spots. Like I told you, keep an eye on this guy. It looks like most of the field is single file. I don't see. I think we're all just riding around in the line. Oh, there's a battle. Where we got John Ross, Garrett Johnson to his outside. That is a fight for 8th position. John may have him clear easy. There you go. Look at these front two. They have checked out from the field. You can see the gap there on your screen. These front two have ran away. Coleridge doing everything he needs to do. I mean, unfortunately, it helps him that Kyle is having trouble, but Coleridge doing everything he needs to do to put himself in a position to race for a championship next week. Cody also doing what he needs to do. Just right around in second. No big deal. Cody currently has the points lead. If he finishes in second, he's going to move on to next week. That's all you need. Kind of looks like Lilith may be holding this field up, or this group up, a little bit. But, I mean, you got to find a way around. If you're faster, find a way around. Already 20 laps in the books, or we're coming to lap 20 here. One caution on the night. Yeah, Kyle Nadeau is struggling. Can't even keep up with the field. That car is hurt. Back up front. I mean, you can see the gap on your screen. These guys have a 2-second lead on the field. Everybody else is back here playing second, well, third fiddle. There's probably not 3 fiddles. Shouldn't even be 1 fiddle, I don't think. But anyways, this is where the fight's at. The front two have just ran away. They're staying single file and just going. I think if we finished right now, if we just turn the race off, call it done, I think we have Coleridge, Cody, Dan, and Lilith as our final 4. Long way to go, though. Can't call that yet. Long way to go. We're still, 140-something laps short of a finish here. And it looks like Coleridge is starting to pull away from Cody as well. Could be Cody just trying to take it easy on his tires early in this run. It's a long way to go. 1 pit stop. You want to hang on to your track position. It's hard to make up spots. I talked about Jerry trying to make up spots. He's up 4 spots. Stuck in 10th position. Got to find a way around Gary. Gary doesn't want to let him around. Gary's trying to fight his way into the playoffs. Look up here. I see some 2 wide. Justin Horton there. Corey Sherman. Corey's going to be able to hold him off on the top side. Justin's going to touch the wall a little bit. It'll be okay. Again, out front. I mean, these guys are now 4 seconds ahead. Well, Coleridge is 4 seconds ahead. Cody's fallen back a little bit. They just keep gaining ground, pulling away from the field. They're catching Kyle Nadeau again. Kyle currently 4 laps down, looking at going 5 laps down. All right. It seems like they're pretty calm. Let's run through your top 10. Coleridge up here, up front. doing what he can to get into next week. Second place, Cody Richardson. Cody is trying to hang on to that points lead. Again, make sure he's fighting next week. Way back here in third place. Say way back, almost 5 seconds, Lilith Peters. You can see it there on your screen. Go to Foxfire Foods. Use that discount code. Get 10% off Luna Steak Sauce. It's pretty good. Dan Keene running in fourth. Dan's having a good run tonight like he has all season. Just quietly kept himself up there in the playoff chase. Corey Sherman in fifth. Justin Horton getting a little loose there. Having a good run. He's in sixth, up one spot from where he started. John Ross, I like the way that skull car looks. Maybe it's the chrome on the red. I'm not sure, but I like that car. John's up one position. He's running in seventh. Garrett Johnson, I want you to finance a Ford with Ford Motor Credit. I wouldn't do it if I were you, but that's me. Anyways, he's running in eighth, up 4 positions. Look at, I just looked at, or we checked in on him earlier. He was behind Gary. Now he's in front of Gary, up in ninth. Jerry Isaacs trying to get up there and make sure he stays in the playoff chase. Jeremy Bowman in 10th. That is your top 10. Look back here, back up front. They've got around Kyle, so put Kyle 5 laps down. Cody's kind of closed back in on Coleridge. We're 31 laps into the race, coming to lap number 32. Closed it back in, 2/10, not much. Last lap, they turned identical lap times. So, I mean, these leaders are turning the laps, pulling away from everybody. Tell you what, look way back here in 14th place all by himself. If this guy can get up there, he's running the fastest laps on the track. But Dave is back here, a lot of track position to make up. He's about a half a racetrack behind your leaders. Let Dave figure out a way to get up front, get some track position. He may have something for these two. Lilith is kind of pulled away from Dan. Everybody's kind of spread out until we get, like, right here. John Ross, Garrett Johnson, Jerry. See Corey Sherman there in front. These guys are battling. That's a lot of fun, guys, when you're battling like that. Let's hop in this car with Garrett. See Kyle getting passed by the field again. See what Garrett sees. Oh, hang on. Right as we went to Kyle. You can see that sparkly on John's car. That's pretty cool looking. The lights reflecting off of it. You can hear him a lot of out of throttle time. Easy back in the throttle. Oh, we're shifting. Yep, downshift into fourth. I was wondering if they were going to shift. If it was a 1 gear. So he stays in fourth on the back stretch, and then I think he goes up to fifth on the front stretch. He stayed in fourth. He made me a liar. Maybe he just tried it when oh no. I see red. Alright, these guys seem to be kind of okay. I want to go back and see what happened here. Howland, bringing it down. He must have figured car's too broken. I gotta park. Yeah, he's gonna jump to the pits. Miss pit lane. Something happened to Christian Delgado. Oh, I gotta go back this way. See these guys getting a little frisky. We're too wide for a couple of spots. Delgado lost a bunch of spots there for a second. I don't want to go away from this action to go back to see, but he must have got loose and got past. side by side with John Ross. Garrett Johnson up in front of him. Justin Horton's got around Dan Keene. See Dan kind of falling back. See Corey Sherman getting up here trying to challenge Dan. Jerry's there in the mix. All this and the two leaders have, I mean, they're almost, they can see the back of the field, but they're 6 seconds ahead of third place Lilith Peters. So the leaders are running away. Coleridge still leading it. Look back here, Jerry looking under John Ross. Move Jerry up to 8th place. I called it. I told you. I told you. It's like Dan's tires are falling off a little bit. All these guys have caught up to him. It's going to be interesting to see where these points shake out tonight, man. So Kyle is in trouble. I think at this point, unless something major happens, looking to see if he still in there, still in the pits. Hasn't put it on the hauler yet. But unless something major happens, that may be the end of Kyle Nadeau's playoff chase, as we see Garrett Johnson getting around Corey Sherman, getting around Dan Keene. Dan's probably going to get freight trained here now that he's been moved up to the top line. Corey Sherman looking under Dan. Jerry's trying to go right with him. Say Dan's got a spot here. If he can hang on and get back down in line, he may be able to hold off Jerry for a few laps. Back up front. Coleridge is pulled away from Cody, by the way. Coleridge is 1.2 seconds here. Let's get a farther back view, and you can see there's nobody around Coleridge. You can see Cody right there coming into picture. So Coleridge has pulled away from Cody. 1.1 second. Cody Richardson in second. Lilith Peters way back here. 6, almost 7 seconds behind your leader in third. Laps are ticking by. Lap 48 this time by. Coleridge leading the way. I mean, I think we're probably still going to go 35, 40 more laps before we see a green flag pit stop. Would be my guess. So we can see these tires cycle, more people making moves. This guy's up 7 spots. 7 spots. Finally gets around Dan. Jerry, move Jerry into 7th. We see Justin Horton up there. I don't know if you noticed it. He keeps touching the wall. Eventually that's going to bite you. You can only do that so many times before that gets you in trouble. You can do it a lot. Car doesn't look too bad. Cody, he's not used to someone running away from him. Usually he's running away from everybody else, but he is playing catch up to Coleridge, who's catching lap traffic. He's got the back of the field now. You can see Jeremy Flanagan there in the 72. He's got the leader behind him, and he has every right to fight to stay on the lead lap. Jeremy's a lot of brake. You can see it glowing red there. That's where Coleridge has got to be delicate, patient, work his way through this lap traffic. See what? Our biggest mover of the race, or I saw it on the timing and scoring, he lost a bunch of spots earlier, but Christian Delgado is up 10 spots. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, 10 spots from where he qualified, so he is coming forward. I'm sure he would love to see a caution, get a reset, pull those drivers in front of him back to him so he can pick up some more spots. You can see right there in front of him, in front of Gary Bowman, Dan Keene was running up in 3rd place for a while, 4th place for a long time. Dropped all the way back to 9th position. Gary Bowman right behind him, challenging for 10th, or for 9th, put him in 10th. Looking around like our front 8, they're pretty spread out. That's the closest battle of the front 8 is Jerry and John right there. Corey's up here. Everybody's pretty spread out in the front. See Coleridge getting around more cars. We get back here to Gary. This is where the battle is, and Gary has got around Dan. Christian Delgado back here looking under Leroy. Got Dave Sanders back there. We talked about him earlier. He was the fastest car on the track there for a while. It's hard to do that in traffic when you're fighting, but he's going to get around Christian on the outside. Move Dave up to 12th position, put Christian back to 13th. Maybe Delgado had already made up a bunch of spots and now he's on the slide. Kind of looks like that. Looks like Leroy may have got around him instead of him trying to get around Leroy. Dave got around him. Now we see Andrew Caldwell trying to do the same. Up here at Leroy catching Dan. Again, Dan, man, I hate to point it out, but man, Dan was up there running up front. Just drop back into the clutches. Dan's currently 10th, Leroy's 11th, and wants that 10th spot. Dave Sanders coming up through the field. He's up 3 spots from where he qualified. Look back here, Caldwell's getting by Delgado. Check back in on your leader. Trying to see who he just lapped. Brian Dorsey. So that's the 18th place car in the 28. Brian going a lap down. Coleridge picking him up, putting him down with this long green flag run. Knock on wood. Oh, hey, look. Kyle's in the booth. What up,
Hey,
Kyle?
got room for one more?
I do got room for one more. Car's done for the night?
It blew up.
That's tough to see. So we watched it, obviously. Was it just a little loose out of the corner? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I got trapped on the bottom there, and you get too low out of turn 2 here at Richmond, where the transition is. It's a little rougher down there, kind of out of the gray, and corrected one way, corrected the other, and then I got behind my steering and into the wall. I think it knocked an oil line off. Survived as long as it did. Just as I went past pit road, it blew up, so I pulled off there, tried not to cause a caution, and now I'm up here.
Well, I'm glad to have the company because I get sick of talking all by myself. And I'm sure
I
people get
figured.
sick of hearing me.
No, they don't get sick of hearing you, but I figured you get bored up here.
So that's pretty much going to end your championship run. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I got lucky surviving Dover as much as I did. But, it is what it is. I had 2 early wins, and then it just kind of fell off. So, yeah, oh well. On to next season.
You're just going to park it for the rest of the season? You're done?
No,
no. You're not racing at all next week?
Of course not.
For those of you listening, if you don't know, Kyle and I are in a battle on the Tuesday night series. It's going to come down to Charlotte next week, and we'll see who can walk away with that. I've got some room to make up, but it's possible.
It's possible. Anything can happen in racing.
Oh, sorry, Kyle. I didn't mean to turn you.
Well, hey, I think that's called premeditation.
Oh. Yeah,
I think there's a rule against that.
It's recorded now, too.
It is. I think there's a rule against that, and I think there's a rule because of someone.
Coleridge?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it might have been before my time,
Is
but
that the Coleridge rule?
I think that's what you guys call the Coleridge rule.
And I'm looking back through here, Kyle. Everybody's kind of spread out.
Yeah, after that one initial caution, I think the track finally got rubbered in, and now people don't seem to be getting squirrely like they were early on. Talking to a couple people, they were having problems with locking up the brakes going into the corners. I was having that problem too, but it was kind of like a push loose. I don't know if you saw me spin it out in qualifying, but
We did. Yep, we had that one
just,
on there too.
yeah, bad night at Richmond. But yeah, it would just push into the corner, and then it would settle, and just as you get back into the throttle, the back end would come around. It's just snappy. Oh, I think green flag stops are about to start.
Oh, Kyle can hear. I cannot.
I think Gainforth is pitting. Yes, he is. I have to do it manually, so.
Yeah, our first taker on pit road, Dave Gainforth, coming down. Looks like Dave was a lap down, so Dave's going to come in here and try to get some tires, try to make up some ground on these leaders. Seems a little early for me, Kyle. Can he make it to the end from here?
No, it would be another stop because it's about 80 to 90. Well, I don't know. I can't do the math.
90 puts us at 160.
So
that's 5 laps short.
5 laps short. Yeah, if you leave it in fifth, maybe, and coast a lot. But the 92's on pit road as well. And he was on the lead lap. Or was he? My thing's all messed up.
I'm showing him 2 laps now, down now. So, yeah. I think these guys were, shoot, Coleridge is now getting ready to pass the 15th place car. So these guys are just thinking, hey, I'll come down, get some tires, put down some faster laps, try to put myself back in a position just in case the caution comes out. I can be on the lead lap and make up some of that time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Coleridge just ran away. I mean, he's got a 6-second lead over Cody Richardson. And what's crazy is Cody's fallen back into the clutches of Lilith. Cody is only, a second and a half up over Lilith where he was 6 seconds. So she's made up a lot of time.
As weird as it is to say, if there's one track that Cody Richardson I've noticed struggles at, it's Richmond. I don't know what it is, but Richmond seems to be one of his worst tracks. I know it's hard. It's, tough to say Cody has a worse track, but I would say Richmond is probably his weakest track. I don't know. I don't know how you would
yeah, as he runs up in second place. Yeah, I got you.
But Coleridge here, he's just lights out fast. He's actually won the last 2 Cup Series races at Richmond here.
Well, he's definitely in a position now, but man, we got a long way to go. Not even halfway yet, so.
No, I know.
long way. You got any jokes, Kyle, while we're up here just watching people go in circles?
I don't know. I mean, you can go back and watch my rate, the first few laps here. That was pretty much of a joke for me.
About Dan Keene, I don't know if you look in on Dan, but shoot, Dan was running in 3rd position at one point. He's all the way back to 14th.
Yeah, it's just, I don't know if it's the track temp. Track's up to 85. It was 80 when I spun. So there is some heat in the track. So I just don't know if it's just greasy or the setup's weird. It's just not fitting certain people's driving styles.
Yeah, Dan's 3rd place in points. Obviously, you were 4th place in points. Dan having, he's struggling a little. There's guys trying to get in the playoffs that are ahead of him. Obviously, you're out.
I'm out.
We're gonna
Dan might be out. It might be Jerry and Coleridge that are in.
Yeah, we're gonna have a big mix-up tonight. Coleridge is definitely putting himself in a position right at the moment to at least take over your spot.
Coleridge is doing everything he needed to.
Yeah. Still not seeing anybody else on pit lane. You can see, well, speaking of Coleridge and Dan both, there they are on your screen. Coleridge is putting Dan a lap down. Again, he was in 3rd for the first, 15, 20 laps.
Yeah, Richmond's weird. Like, it's one of those tracks that if you think you're running it easy, you're not running it easy enough. And well, now Cody's starting to pay the price for probably racing with Coleridge there at the beginning.
Yeah, you see Lilith has caught him. Here comes Ed on those fresh tires.
Yeah, let's just take the chance now to jump Cody.
Yep, going down to pit lane. So that's our third place car in the pits. See if that brings down your leader, brings down second place.
And here comes second place. Coleridge is on easy street. He can pit whenever he wants because he has that 6.5 second lead. So I didn't even think 1 or 2 laps is going to make a difference.
Yeah, that's bringing a lot down. We've got
pit now, so
is he? Garrett Johnson coming down. Jerry Isaacs coming down. Dan Keene is in the pits. Here comes your leader, Coleridge, in the pits. Yeah, I think, I've been out there on track. You hear Cody Richardson coming down in the pits, and you want to stay on cycle. You're going to follow most of the time.
Yeah, you want to be 1 or 2 laps, preferably before him, but you don't want to be 5-6 laps because then you're pretty much done if the race goes green.
Now Justin Horton, Curry Sherman, looks like Gary Bowman, Caldwell. Eric hasn't pit yet, so we'll see how that plays out. Coleridge is still in the pits.
Left side's down, and he's away. Comes Corey Sherman by. He hasn't pit yet. And here comes the 85.
85 has pit.
23 almost got up into the 85 there. He almost cut him off.
Halfway this time by, Kyle. Halfway.
And Coleridge is just coming at a 2 now. And Cody is just going into 1. Lilith managed to jump Cody there. So when this cycle's out, there will be a change for second place. And Coleridge is just pulling away.
Yeah, we can see now. We'll see if Cody pushes as hard on this run or if he kind of backs it up and lets his tires hang on a little longer because it's a long way to go to the finish.
It's got that green flag feel, so I think he learned from pushing it early on, trying to keep Coleridge at bay. Don't burn him up at the beginning, save a little bit, and then they'll be nice to you at the end of the run.
I'm looking, so Coleridge is going to unlap himself here. He's right behind Justin Horton. Put Coleridge back on the lead lap. He's currently in 4th place, but your top 3 have not pit yet, have not come to the pits. How long will they go?
What did I spin? I spun on 7, so that would be 97. They should be able to go oh, okay, well, there's the leader. So Corey and Eric shouldn't be too much longer after this.
Justin Horton, you see him diving down into pit lane. That puts Corey Sherman up here getting passed by Lilith. Cody's right there going by. It's the difference, fresh tires and old tires. Put them back on the lead lap. Gives us 5 cars on the lead lap. That's okay, right?
Yep, that's okay.
That means Eric Anderson's down in pit lane as well. That camera is terrible for pits. So is that one. There you go. You can see Eric coming out now. So that just leaves Corey Sherman into pit lane. So that's going to cycle it back around to Coleridge. As soon as timing and scoring catches up here, we'll run through the top 10. There it goes. So up front, way up front. There it goes. Coleridge has got a 3.5 second lead. So Lilith cut into that lead quite a bit. So did Cody. I have to look here while I'm talking about it. I'm going to pull it up and look at their pits.
That could be just the lap difference, too.
Yeah, it must have been because their pit lane times, Coleridge was a half a second slower than both Cody and Lilith, but they made up 3 seconds on the racetrack.
Well, he had that 6 second lead, so he didn't have much to, he didn't have a lot to sweat.
But again, Coleridge up front by himself, almost a 4 second lead. Lilith Peters there in second, getting some flack from Cody Richardson. Running in third. In fourth, you got Garrett Johnson. He's up 8 spots on the night. Running in fourth. In fifth, I talked about him earlier. Jerry Isaacs, the guy that this green flag run, I think, benefits. You know, he's just nice and smooth. He's moved up 9 positions. Behind him, old Ed might get past here, but Ed's currently holding that 6th position. Looks like Dave's going to get around him. He's got position. Dave Sanders, for a little while, was the fastest car on the track.
Oh, wow.
Middle of that run. So Dave Sanders moved him up 8 spots into 7th, 6th. He's fighting for it. Justin Horton, we saw him stay out there for a long time. He's in 8th. Gary Bowman 9th. And Corey Sherman currently holding down 10th place. That's your top 10. And you can see, man, I mean, Coleridge is right there behind these guys, too. Coleridge is looking at not leaving anybody on the lead lap tonight, I don't think.
Nope, Coleridge came out with one thing in mind, and that was to win, and win in dominating fashion. I think he's got most laps led locked up.
Yeah, past halfway, yeah, I got to say he probably does.
Won't be a max points night because he didn't get the point for the pole, but, you know, everything else he got.
Back in here on some of these battles. Ed trying to hold off Justin Horton. Justin had speed, was running close to the front and then stayed out, so that put him back. See if Justin can get by Ed here. I think my grandma could get by Ed. Did I say that out loud?
I think you did. Oh, Game 4's going to run the bottom there. Kind of slow up Horton, but they're going to be side by side coming down into 3 here. Ed's going to let him go. I think Ed's tires are... Ed was one of the first ones to start that green flag.
Yeah, Ed's
cycle.
Ed's 28 laps on his tires to where your leader's 15. So
yeah, so he's starting to struggle here, I would say.
Yeah, and we watched Justin Horton stay out that long. Justin Horton's only 9 laps on his tires, so he's got much fresher tires than everybody in front of him. You see him getting there to Dave Sanders as well, so I think that's a result of staying out. You know, get them while you can before they even out.
Now, if I were Justin, I'd have to worry about running these fast laps, trying to, you know, catch as much people at the beginning of the run and burning my stuff up.
Man, I'm just impressed with Coleridge. He is right behind 11th and 12th place. Like, that's hard to do. To pass, I mean, there's, I'd say 23 cars in the field, but one of them's up here talking to me. 22 cars in the field, and to put them all laps down. I mean, he's up here doing it. He's got a gaggle of cars right in front of him. Got to be careful.
Hey, when it's your night, it's your night. Now, when it's not, it's not.
Looking under Andrew Caldwell, his fellow Canadian's going to give him plenty of room.
Yep. I'm always polite up here.
Donuts and coffee, is that what you guys do?
Yep.
Not
a cooler and a double-double.
I'm not a fan of either one, to be honest.
Oh, well, you are American.
I don't know what that means. I'm supposed to like hot dogs instead?
I think so. Isn't that your pastime? Oh, no, that's baseball.
It's baseball. So Cody got around with Lilith. We missed it. But Cody is back into second place and kind of pulled away from Lilith. He's got a second lead over Lilith right now. We'll see if that comes back later in the run like it did earlier. But he has got around.
It's kind of stabilized at about 3.5 seconds here. They really haven't changed. Lilith's dropped to... Wow, Lilith's really dropping off here. 5 seconds behind the leaders. Let's see what the gap is. Oh, he gave a bump to Christian there. And Cody knows it's go time now.
Yeah, he
65 laps is going to go fast here.
Can't let Coleridge get too far away. You're exactly right. I don't know that he has anything for him, honestly.
Yeah, it's it's weird to say.
We're going to have to send that 23 to the the research division and have them tear it apart and see what we did, what he did.
Lost a 10th there. Cody's in traffic here in Coleridge. He's not really in traffic.
No, you can see it on your
Cody's
screen.
coming up on his teammate here, so you think his teammate would give him a bit more of a break. Coleridge has the 92 and the 12 in front of him, and 12's just going to let him go.
Andy's one of the more respectful racers out here. Will get out of your way if he thinks you're faster.
Yep.
I say that, and he's just staying side by side. There he goes. Goes the high line, let Coleridge have the inside.
This track, it's scary to get out of the way.
Yeah, there's kind of one groove.
Yeah, and you know, if everyone's running the bottom, you got to try your best to not bounce off the wall and into somebody.
Yeah, that leads up to 4 seconds. Looks like the 72 on pit lane there, Jeremy Flanagan.
So I wonder if the battle with Lilith really hurt his tires.
Yeah, we saw this earlier. So in the first run, Cody was able to hang with Coleridge for, I'd say, 30 laps, 20, 30 laps. And then Coleridge just started to pull away from Cody. It's really odd to see if you've been watching all season.
3.7. Made up a 10th that lap.
Yeah, it's funny to look to see who's the fastest car on the track. That last lap, we're going to go all the way back to 15th place. Eric Anderson was the fastest car on the track. Now, his tires are fresher than a lot of drivers. He's only 21 laps, 22 laps into his tires, where everybody else is around 30. But it's fun to see. Cody was faster than Coleridge by 2/10 that last lap.
Wow. Down to 3.6.
Yeah, he is definitely trying to make up some time, but I mean, we've got 55 to go, 56 to go.
Kind of stayed there. Might have been a couple thousandths. He was faster.
Looks like Coleridge has got a pretty clean racetrack in front of him. There's some cars. Gary Bowman up there. I mean, by the way, he just lapped the 10th place car. But you got Gary Bowman, nice. Dave Sanders up here. That's the closest to Coleridge. Oh, what's going on back there? Who are those? Looks like Andy Quirk got a little loose in front of all these guys. Got it back under control.
Almost 4 seconds. Coleridge is stretching it out.
Yeah, this is about the time, we're 30 laps into he's 31 laps into his tire run. That's about the time he just pulled away from Cody in the last run. So what I'm interested to see is if that number 1 of Lilith Peters can get back up to Cody Richardson and steal that second spot.
She's about 3 seconds now. So he has pulled away from Lilith.
Cody's in a lot of traffic. There's 2 cars, side by side in front of him. Ed and Leroy. Looks like Leroy's going to get by Ed. Cody's going to be underneath him, but Cody's in traffic. Lilith is not, so that should help Lilith, but she's got to pass those same cars when she gets there.
And you can see the damage that running in traffic here does, having to slow just a little bit more not to run over the car in front of you. Cody was there. He's lost about 3/10 in 2 laps.
Yeah, and again, Coleridge is still pretty much clean track. He's catching Gary Bowman there, Dave Sanders, but he doesn't have anybody to contend with, so he can just run. Look back here. I called it earlier that I expected Jerry Isaacs in the top 5. Up 9 spots. Jerry's having a good run tonight. Doing what he needs to do.
Yep. No mistakes. Everyone outside looking in, no mistakes. Capitalize on when people make mistakes.
And Coleridge is just put the 9th place car down and is inside of the 8th place car of Dave Sanders. That's just crazy. We don't see that often.
That's not often we have a dominating performance like this.
Oh, Coleridge slid up out of 4 there. That was close. Dave's probably going to just kind of let him have that spot, but he can't do it too much because Gary's right behind him and they're fighting for position. Coleridge has got clean track in front of him. A 4-second lead over 2nd place Cody Richardson. And 47 laps to go. So right now, it's all in Coleridge's hands. And I'm trying to find battles here. Everybody's pretty much spread out. Dave Sanders and Gary Bowman for 8th and 9th place is the closest we've got.
Coleridge exits really high out of 4 here, I noticed. That must be what's saving his right front.
Now, is this car on this track? It's not set.
Whoa.
Oh, that was close. Not setting on the right rear? Is it more right front dependent?
It's definitely more right front dependent coming out of 4 here. Out of 2, you're on your right rear. But you want to lead with the right front, but you want to keep it happy because you have this big sweeping corner all the way down into turn 1.
Kyle, we're supposed to tell dad jokes when they just single file out like this. You know that, right?
Oh, are we? Okay.
Yeah.
I haven't done this in a while.
It's the rules. Dad jokes.
All right. When does a joke become a dad joke?
I'm not sure. When does a joke become a dad joke?
When it becomes apparent.
That's a dad joke. All right. Oh, I guess we have a sound for that. I don't have to make that sound anymore. Looking back now, Cody's pulled away from Lilith some, so she is really not gaining. Their last lap times were pretty much even. Coleridge was faster by a 10th than both of them. Justin Horton, who again is on a little bit fresher tires, was the fastest car on the track last lap. That has a lot to do with traffic, such. Not discounting Justin, but I don't know that the tires at this point are making that big of a difference. 37 versus 44 laps on your tires. They all feel slick and greasy at that point.
Yep. I think one battle that might be starting to shape up here is the 88 and the 1. There's about 3 seconds between them, but Garrett's kind of just maintained about 11 seconds behind Coleridge. And Lilith dropped back, so I think Garrett is starting to catch Lilith.
Let's look in with Garrett, see if we can see her. Yeah, she's way up there. She's going into turn 1 now. He just crossed the start-finish line. Now, riding around with Garrett here, Kyle, he's staying in 4th the whole way. Would you be shifting at this point or no?
This late in the run, no, you'd be left in 4th. Just because you're trying not to buzz your tires. Your times are down into the 23 seconds. There's no sense in keeping the revs really low.
Say, it looks like he might be hitting the limiter right at the end of the front stretch, real close to it.
You can lift it early and just not let it hit that rev limiter.
Just let her coast.
You don't want to upset the car with another shift and bounce the transaxle and spin you out. Later on in this race, he might actually be shifting down into 3rd because his RPMs are getting so low.
Well, we can ride around with your leader and see what he's doing on the backstretch here into 3. Of course, in 4th. Yeah, he's down to about 5,900 RPMs in 4th. Yeah, he's doing what you said. He's lifting early. Going into 1, giving Coleridge's secrets away here.
Well, hey, they should be racing and not watching or listening. So
For next time, Kyle. For next time.
a lot can change.
Hear him have to pedal it out of 4 there.
Yeah, Coleridge sits about 90 or about 9,000 RPM. I saw Garrett was pinning it at 91 going into turn 1.
Yeah, and he's actually dropped back a little bit. Garrett has, so you talked about him, and then Lilith got faster.
Yep. I wonder if she's now trying to set off to catch Cody.
It's about that time, but she's got, 4 seconds to make up, and we've only got 34 laps to go.
She's shifting into fourth. So she's running 5th along the front stretch and then downshifting into 4th. So she's running a different strategy.
She's kind of different, apparently. Kyle, what did the horse say after it tripped?
I don't know.
Help, I've fallen and I can't giddy up. Cody Richardson second place in a lot of traffic right here. He's going around his teammate Dave Sanders. He's got Andrew Caldwell. That's the 9th place car right in front of him. That in itself could help Lilith catch up. Andrew's going to stay high, give Cody the room, but you really need the whole racetrack there.
Now the one thing with Lilith is Dan Keene is in front of her. That's also a championship race there. So does Dan play the good teammate, and try to hold Lilith up to help Cody stay in second and keep another point away from Dan? He is.
Yeah, Dan's currently in 12th. I'm not going to do that kind of math.
He was 1 point ahead of me, and I was 4 points ahead of Jerry.
Jerry's in 5th, so 7 points. He may be in trouble.
It's going to be close. Well, we know Coleridge is in right now.
Got to get it done, though. 29 to go.
Second and third were first and second in points.
Yeah, so we're looking at that 4th spot, that final transfer spot to go on to Atlanta. How do you feel about racing Atlanta next week?
That's good. I think that'll be a really good race. You're gonna have to save fuel, or not save fuel, but save tires. I don't have to go out and race for a championship. All these other ones have to. So, I can go out. I can run a little bit harder, and not have to worry about racing 4 different people. Of course, I'll race the other people with respect, but
not
I've got
4.
I got a lot less to lose than what they do.
Yeah, and what's awesome about next week is it's whichever one of those 4 finish in front of the others. Like, you can lead all the laps you want, but if you finish second to another chase driver, you're in trouble.
Yep, you lose.
I think that's going to make it a lot of fun to watch because let's get some beating and banging going on here.
It's been a great battle between Lilith and Cody all season, so I think it'll come down to them, and Coleridge will come out of nowhere and do it, and Jerry will slowly work his way up if he makes it in to the final 4. They'll all be right there, right at the end of the race, I think.
Well, I'm hoping not to have to send any trophies to Canada this season, so I'm gonna have to root against Coleridge.
Well,
and another
make
Canadian.
it really tough. Tuesday's going to be a really good battle.
I think so.
We'll set the tone.
Yeah, I like that track. It's fun to drive.
It's really fun, especially in the trucks.
Yeah. Yeah. What's cool about Charlotte and the trucks is you feel like Superman for about 5 laps, and then you're like, oh no, it's getting slickery, and that's where the fun comes in. Yeah, these guys aren't giving us much to talk about. We should just
they really aren't.
We should hit a button and Oh, sorry, caution. Oh, sorry.
I mean, I think I still have a car. Go out, spin out. Oh no!
I
They
don't know
didn't put
what
my right
happened.
rear on.
22 to go. Coleridge is 6 seconds ahead of Cody Richardson. 6 seconds. Cody is 4 seconds ahead of third place Lilith Peters, who has about a 4-second lead over Garrett Johnson. Lilith is in a lot of traffic. Garrett is not, so that may help Garrett catch up. Might help Garrett Mustard as well.
Justin Horton is slowly catching Jerry.
I'm looking. So yeah, that last lap, Justin was about a tenth of a lap faster, or a tenth faster that last lap. So you see this lap coming by. About the same, about a tenth. So a tenth with 20 to go. We may have a battle there for 5th place here pretty soon. Man, Coleridge is just dominating. He's behind John Ross there. That's the 15th place car. Looking to put him a second lap down.
Man, save some laps for the rest of us.
Well, he's just trying to get it over early because he's got to go to bed. Canadian bedtime is it's early. It's just
Probably
dark.
got homework to do.
Yeah, it's just dark all year up there, isn't it? Or all winter? Sun doesn't come up at all?
Up where he is, yeah, it is. He's
Oh.
pretty far north.
That was a joke, but yeah. I couldn't imagine that. Just no sun.
I couldn't either.
$18 to go. I wish I had more stuff to talk about. I'm disappointed in these guys. Just kidding. They're doing a great job. It's a lot of laps to run under green. You know they're tired.
Yep.
See, everybody's pretty much spread out. Justin, Jerry, I mean, he's still, it's kind of settled down now. Last couple laps, Justin's only been about a half a tenth. Time's running out. Looking, if you remember, like Ed Jurgen, where is he at on track? Ed is in 16th. Ed pit pretty early. Oh, he must have pit again. He's only 28 laps into his run. I missed it.
Yeah, I think him and Gainforth kind of pit at the same time there.
Yeah. I was trying to make something to talk about, and then it wasn't there.
John Ross went to give him the spot, kind of wiggled.
Yeah, he took a scary entrance into that turn if you're the leader. I mean, that's the 7th place car right in front of him. He's looking to put the 7th place car a lap down.
Just phenomenal race tonight. But we might have a battle for 7th place here. Corey's reeling in Justin, and Justin's reeling in Jerry.
14 to go. Those guys are going to have to do a lot more. They're going to have to turn that reel a lot faster. Make this exciting.
Horton's diamonding the corner. That's interesting. And it seems to be working for him.
Well, just for that, we're going to ride around with him for a lap.
Yeah, watch him. He won't do it now.
He's shifting into 5th at the start-finish, by the way.
Yeah, he doesn't do
He
it there.
stays on the bottom. Oh, got really loose.
Ooh, that was close.
You can see, though, you know, from his cockpit, you can see Jerry's getting bigger. He's catching him.
I think Jerry's starting to fight some aero push here with the lap cars in front of him. He's got the 13 and the 43. You know, he's not happy with the 13 right now, holding him up.
Yeah, no, he's, I wouldn't be surprised here. Let's jump to Jerry's cockpit. He's looking under the 13 now.
13's letting him go. But that's brought the 67 in. 6 is kind of fell away from him. But he's letting Coleridge go here.
As I say, and if you look, so we're looking at the battle right now on, we've got a big expanded view so you can see the 51 and the 67 at the same time, but I'm gonna, right there's Coleridge. Like this is, Jerry's running in 5th. Coleridge, only 6 cars on the lead lap. Oh, Justin sent it in there under the 13. That cost him a lot of ground on Jerry. He's trying hard to get up there to Jerry. 9 to go, coming to 8 to go this time by.
It cost him a little bit of ground, but it probably cost him a lot less ground than just waiting for Christian to... Oh, and Steven's going to race Jerry here on the bottom, take his bottom line away. Yeah, Steven's putting up a fight. Orton's going to send it in. He's there.
Yeah, I was going to say, if I were Jerry, I'm just going to let Steven go because that's going to cost you track.
Yep. Orton sees the leader coming. Jerry's really running up high. I wonder if Jerry can't run the bottom. I wonder if he's burned his right front up. He's stuck in traffic there. Justin's just late on the brakes and early on the throttle.
Oh, geez. He is there.
But now it's just not doing anything dumb and screwing it up. You've caught him. Figure out how to pass him. But Jerry's not going to make it easy. Jerry wants the spot. He wants the playoff.
Yeah. I mean, we've both raced Jerry. Jerry's not an easy pass when he doesn't want to be.
No. But if you get the spot on him and he races you 2 or 3 laps, then, you know, he's smart and he'll let you go. He'll make you work for it.
I don't know that he's letting anybody go with 5 to go here. He's going to fight for everything he has. And
now Horton's burned it. I just saw Horton wiggle there, so I think he's kind of used up all the stuff. I'm on blimp cam, and it really shows the gap grow and contract in the corner.
Yeah, he's definitely faster on entry than Jerry is, but then you can see Jerry down the straightaway is able to stretch that out a little bit.
What does Cody say? Slow in, fast out?
But who cares what Cody says? He's running in 2nd place.
This is true.
Coleridge watching this battle for 5th place. 3 laps to go.
He's there.
Oh, he's got to run too. Jerry's going to close the door.
Is he going to put the bumper to him?
Coleridge is there too. Does Coleridge get up in this mix? Does he just sit back and let these guys fight? Coleridge has got a big lead.
I would sit back and let them fight.
Yeah, 2 to go this time by. Oh, maybe. Coleridge is going to stick his nose in it.
Oh man, if I were Coleridge, I would sit back and wait. I wouldn't want to be caught up in this mess. Not with this late of how good of a race you've had. But you know Coleridge, he's not going to.
Oh, he's sideways.
Yeah.
White flag
Coleridge
this time by.
Go. White flag for Coleridge. 2 laps for the 51 and the 67.
Correct.
Oh, I think that might be it.
Oh, right in front of the leader. He saved it. Holy cow.
Pull it down and take one more shot at it, kid.
Yeah, Coleridge backed up from him then. He's like, okay, I'm just going to get this done. So Coleridge does cross the line. We're going to keep watching this 5th place battle.
If he's got anything, it's got to be into 3 here.
Yeah, he got a pretty good run out of 2 there.
He sent it. He gave him a shot. No,
Jerry hangs on. Jerry Isaacs for 5th. Okay, that was fun to watch. Okay, give us a second. Let's go grab these guys. If I can find them, where'd they go? Oh, there they are. Okay. One more. There she is. Kyle, it looks like you caught up with the Dominator himself, Coleridge.
Hell.
Hey, Coleridge. Long time no talk.
Yeah,
So how was that race?
incredible. I don't even know what to say, man. That was so intense from the drop of the green to like, even though Cody at one point he back like 5.9 seconds or something like that, I felt like if I still made a mistake or I came out the bottom, then he was gonna be right there. So I had to run a perfect race. I knew coming into the night I had to run a perfect race, and I was just short of it. I just missed the pole, but still a good night overall.
Hey, you did everything you needed to do coming in. Take us through those last few laps there, watching the 67 and the 51 battle. Were you trying to get around them, or when you saw them get close, were you just like, I'm just not going to stick my nose in there?
Uh, I wanted to get by them. I know I was coming down to the last few laps, but I wanted to get by them because I've never had this good of a car here. So I was trying to do as much as I could with it the whole entire run. Both runs, actually. I tried to do the most I could. But when Justin got loose there and they started to mess around, I was like, okay, I got to remember. I got to finish this race with four wheels and all four corners on it. So I backed off and just took the success that I had tonight, and yeah.
Well, Mike and I have kind of been doing math up here. We're 99% sure that you're going for a championship. That's going to be what, your second? You're going for your second Cup championship?
Yep, going for a second.
How do you feel about Atlanta? The old
No.
Atlanta.
I've been doing some practice there last week in officials, so I feel a lot comfortable than what I normally do when I don't practice for these races. So I got a little practice under my belt. I know what lines to run. I don't know who I'm racing. I'm sure Cody and Lilith are going to be there, so they're going to be tough competitors, no doubt. So I know Lilith is really good a mile and a half. Cody's just as good as me everywhere. So I know it's going to be a competitive four. It should make this race really interesting when we get to Atlanta in a week.
We're thinking it might be Jerry, but it might be Dan Keene. But yeah, you'll have probably two Mad Sim guys to race against. So we'll turn the floor over to you, and you can give your shout outs and your thanks and all that jazz.
Awesome. I want to shout out to my team, the Bulldog Coffee Company. The promo is BTR10, I think. If you go to their site, get some coffee. I hear it's really good. I'm from Canada, so it's hard to get it down here. But I hear it's really good. Want to thank Connor Hazel for doing this paint scheme. Want to thank you, Mike, for broadcasting, and Kyle. I hear Kyle up there, so I want to thank you guys for putting on a broadcast. It was unfortunate, Kyle, for you to get out so early in the race. I thought me and you would come down to the third battle for the finish that we've had. Unfortunate for that, so unfortunate for my teammates. And want to thank my competitors who came out here, put on a good race. I'm sure it was interesting, even though we were all kind of spread out. I'm sure it was interesting from green to checkered, so I'm glad we put on a good race for everybody.
All right. Mike, any other words?
Yep. Congrats, Coleridge, man. I can't wait to see you battle next week. It's going to be fun to watch.
Thanks, guys. Really appreciate that. Take care.
Congrats, bud.
Kick that feller out of here. One long-winded guy to another long-winded guy. Cody, man, that 23 just ran away from you all night. What happened?
This is one of those tracks you know as well as I do that nobody can do anything with Coleridge here. I think last season I ran behind Coleridge and Kyle. Season before I ran behind Coleridge. This is one of his tracks. It's why I fought so hard there before that first caution, only caution, try to stay in front of him because I knew the clean air was going to be worth it, but I just fried my stuff up in the dirty air behind him, and whenever I came in the pits, he was 6 seconds up, and I knew it was a tall order. I was just trying to cover off Lilith behind me and see what could happen.
Yeah, it looked like Lilith was catching you in that first run. Did you change your approach in the second run after the pit stop to make sure that didn't happen again?
Yeah, I tapped the chart in my head and stopped braking too hard and too late, and everything worked out better. What do you know? I think that last run I was a little bit faster than Coleridge was the last 10 or 15 laps, just too little too late.
So you're saying slow in, fast out?
Yeah, the chart that I always tap for everybody else? If I could have had that printed off in my headset, probably would have been better off from the get-go.
Well, hey, man, I mean, I'm pretty sure you're locked into next week. I think it's you, Lilith, Coleridge, and I believe Jerry. I haven't done the math, but I think Jerry made his way in there with Kyle sitting here in the booth with me. How you feeling about your chances at Atlanta?
Well, I think you're wrong. I think it's going to be Dan. Dan had an 11
Did
point
Dan
lead
make
over
it?
Jerry, I think. I think Dan made it. In my rough math, I believe Dan made it over Jerry, but it's going to be close. We'll find out. Either way, I really do like Old Atlanta. I think a couple seasons ago, I wasn't in the Final Four. We were running Old Atlanta, but I sat up there with the championship guys anyway. It fits my driving style a little bit better than Richmond does here. I think we're in the afternoon, so a bunch of heat. We should be driving around searching for grip. There's plenty of lanes at that old track. It's going to be a fun race for sure.
And bonus points don't count next week, right? So you've just got to finish in front of 3 people.
Yep, that's all I care about. Who's the highest one behind me, and I'm going to try to stay in front of them and hope there's no one in front of me to worry about.
Well, hey, bub, good run tonight. I'm excited to see you guys battle it out next week. I'm going to turn it over to you. Say hi to Mom for me.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll say hi to Mom. Thanks to all the friends and family out there. I'll say hi, Mom, again. Thanks, Mike, for doing this here. Kyle, I appreciate you coming up here and helping him out also. A shame you had an incident there on the track. Otherwise, it probably could have been you next week racing with us. But either way, whether it's you or Dan or Jerry or anybody, it's going to be a good group next week. Check out all the sponsors on my car. Say thanks to them. And want to say make sure check out madsimracing.com and intotheapex.com. We're a new podcast every weekend. Thank you guys up here.
All right. Kick Cody out of here. And Kyle, you get the last interview of the night. I think you caught up with Lilith.
Lilith, you got us in the booth?
Sorry about that. Yeah, hi.
So, how's your race going tonight? Did you have
I just
anything
played
for
it
the?
safe.
Just played it safe. Yeah, figured you were locked in. Just no mistakes. Did you have anything for the 23 or the 64?
No, Coleridge is too good, but maybe Cody I did if I were better on a short run, but I felt like if I tried to go too much quicker, I would just either burn off or commit suicide, so I didn't want to do that.
Yeah, you don't want to spin out early and hurt your car early on. Ruins your chances.
Oh, I felt so bad, Kyle. Sorry.
Yeah. That's Richmond. It happens. It's been a bad week.
Well, just we'll have fun next week, right?
Yep, I'll be out there. How do you? Yeah. So speaking of next week, championship race, your first season in Cup. What do you think you have? What it takes to take that #1 and place it as the champion of the? We don't have a sponsor this season. Pro Cup Series.
I'll try. Probably not. Cody's goated. I'm just gonna try and not die and capitalize if I need to, and I'll have fun.
Hey, having fun. That's all that matters. But you know what? Anything can happen. So I guess we can turn the floor over to you and give your shout outs and all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll get it over with. Thanks, Luna Steak Sauce. You can buy it at foxfirefoods.com. Thanks my teammates Jeremy, Justin, Garrett. Almost everybody had a good night tonight, and thanks everybody who puts on the league. It was a really good season, and I hope for a last good race.
Awesome. I got to say, Lilith, it's been fun to watch you race all season. I'm excited. I think you got a pretty damn good chance next week, so have some faith. Congrats on your third tonight.
Okay.
We'll see you next week.
Good night.
Kick Lilith out. Kyle, I'm going to run through the results since you won't be able to see what I'm seeing. I might as well just go through all of them. We talked to your top 3. Coleridge, Cody, Lilith. 4th place, Garrett Johnson brought it home. That was a pretty good run. Jerry in 5th. Justin Horton in 6th. Corey Sherman 7th. Gary Bowman 8th. Andrew Caldwell 9th. Leroy in 10th. Dan Keene in 11th. Dave Sanders brought it home 12th. Eric Anderson 13th. John Ross 14th. Christian Delgado in 15th. Ed Jurgen in 16th. Where was I? Yeah, Steven Music 17th. Dave Gainforth 18th. Click a little button here. It'll take me to the next page. There we go. Andy Cork in 19th. Brian Dorsey in 20th. Jeremy Flanagan 21st. 22nd, Chris Letts. And who's that in 23rd? Front row, Kyle Nadeau. Now you're back row, Kyle Nadeau.
Yep, it hurts.
I'm going to look here and see if these points have been updated. It says 17 starts on there. That seems silly to me. How do we got 17 starts on there? But what I'm seeing right now, the points, it looks like they have been updated. Kyle, you're all the way in 8th place there in the points, but it looks like it's going to be Cody Richardson, Lilith Peters, Coleridge Finmore, and Dan Keene fighting it out next week. That was pretty close. Pretty dang close. But yeah, top 4 coming in next week. Kyle, thanks for coming up here and hanging out with me. Everybody,
Okay.
thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Dum